Hello everybody, my name is Takriva and welcome back to Europa Universalis III, where we are trying to get some bigger army out so we can actually start playing nice with our neighbors. Now what I am trying to do is make combined forces of infantry and cavalry by not having too many of each, and that way you're basically, when you have an army as a European force, you can only have 50% of the total be cavalry. And if you go over that limit, the forces just don't make any sense anymore and will be very weak. But what we do need to do is offer alliances to all of my vassals, because otherwise we're in deep shit. And if we want to attack someone and we are not allied with our own vassals, they will not help us in the war. And despite that we as France are a bigger nation, it's actually really strong to have these small countries join as well, because they all have their own army and force limits. Together we have a huge army, but because of the force limits that limit ourselves with our army, we can have a total of 35,000 troops as a standing army, and all my vassals can have like 4,000. They here have 3 and 3,000, but together that adds up to a lot as well. And we are currently training upwards to 12,000 strength armies, which is not bad at the least. But yeah, we do need some. Okay, we are going to send a couple of merchants here, so we can get more money out of our trade. That's the way merchants work in this current installment, but that is one of the heavily changing things in the next one. Now, let's see, we are very close to getting our government tech up, which will give us an extra idea, I believe. When we check here, we are, well, January 1404, so we're still over 2 years away, but we will have some forces running around, and that makes us more powerful. And move everyone to Paris, and here you can see this army has way too much cavalry because it only has cavalry, and then the numbers turn red, which means that it won't fight at its efficiency. But now 8 to 4,000 is better. Well, in practice you can have 8,000 and 8,000, basically the same amount, but infantry is the first to die in battle, so it's going to be ideal to have a few more infantry as well. And also when you're sieging the enemy, you can, when the walls are broken and you can basically storm the city, you don't want, you cannot send the cavalry in. It's always the infantry that goes in. So now the big problem as France is, it starts with many vassals and cannot actually engage in a war with anyone. Now here is a good one. See, Provence is actually not a part of anyone, and it's only in a alliance with Naples, and we are also in an alliance with Naples, but Naples will probably support its little one, and since they are only allied with me and with the Provence, if we actually engage the Provence, nothing will happen. But before we can actually start a war, we need to, of course, up our no, we don't want a settlement policy. We need to get our military strength to full, and when we are at 0 maintenance per month, our morale of the armies will be close to 0. We have a royal marriage offer from here. Now, which countries are we vassalized but not allied with? Auvergne is ally. We have gotten a royal marriage with them. Foix is a vassal but not an ally. Perfect. And we are allied with Armagnac. We are allied with Auvergne, Bourbon, Berry, Orléanais. Not with Alençon, so we will get them as well. Now we are basically allied with all our own vassals. And apparently, this is interesting. We could also attack Nevers, and they are only allied with Bar, which is actually which I cannot do, because I don't have a casus belli. See, you need a core to get a legitimate reason to attack, which we have cores on these lands, so we might as well. He will first move up to Barry, and then we will declare war. So now we can do the reconquest. Oh, they're allied, and Naples have honored their alliance, so we do attack. Yet Milan has dishonored the alliance. So we are only at war with Naples and with this here, what is it, the Provence? Oh, wait, the Provence is also down here. Okay, I did fail to see that, so we might have to send someone back. And this area is actually not a core of France, but we will most likely take it regardless. So let's speed up. I'm going to take it one speed down though, because when you're at war you really want to have a little bit less. Okay, let's call to arms some of our friends over here. This way we will lock their troops up there. So which is that? That would be Louvain. They're moving back to the Provence. And here we have a fleet from Naples. Now the fleet is 12 big, but the 10 down on the right bottom you can see it has 0 large ships, 0 light ships, and 0 baroque ships. I mean trade ships, I think they are. And that basically means that there's hey, this will be fun. If we call to arms Auvergne, they will instantly start fighting in Barry as well. So let's and because these guys are vassals of mine, they will conquer those lands in my stead. Now I hope I can get a big enough war score without actually having to sail us over there, because we only have 6 ships. So this might be a decent time to actually start building a couple of cogs, so we can actually have an army to, well, we can have a navy to transport our army. And we only have 3 coastal provinces starting out because, well, most of France is actually taken by Brittany here. We have England as well as Burgundy up north, and of course the Provence, but we are hopefully getting this sieged up and taken under our control. Now, war takes a long time in this period. It was not fast. You needed to do a long siege of a city to actually get the fortress or the castle down, and especially before there was artillery. They could not storm a city, they would basically have to wait it out. Now here on the right you see 3 sieges. We are being sieged, a hostile siege in Languedoc, that's here. The Naples is attacking us there. And we are sieging in Maine and in the Provence. Basically, and these percentages means how far along the siege is going. Well, I'll rather lose some naval stuff. Oh, we cannot trade in Castile anymore, which I don't care really. But we can actually adopt an idea now. So we'll pause it real fast because we got our government tech up. So when we look here, we can take any of these ideas. The bottom 3 rows are not unlocked until you get a certain level of research of each type of research. So you have anything combined with naval, land, exploration, state, and culture. And this row unlocks at level 7 of each of these respective tags. This one at 30 and this one at 53. So, and 53 is something you reach like towards the end of the game only. So these are basically not used in a normal playthrough, but on the other hand you can also always start later in the game than actually have to start at the beginning where we started. So you can start on any day between 1399 and 1820, I think. So that's very good. Now, what do we want? Well, we want a big army, and military drill is really strong. It will keep our armies in battle for a longer time. And leader siege and defense means that you're stronger defending your fortresses. And forts, battlefield commissions more army tradition means you can get better generals. Prestige from land battles, so basically this goes up. And land force limits, well, you can have a larger army. Naval has all stuff to do with ships, so cheaper ships, a double the size of your navy. We cannot have a big navy right now because of we only have 3 seaworthy provinces, so our support limit is actually a 2. So already building these 2 ships is going to give our maintenance a huge boost, which is not ideal, but we still want that navy. So we really have to get our lands proper before we can have a true navy. So as far as an idea goes, it's not ideal. And exploration, basically, it's easier to go across the ocean. You almost always need colonial ventures to get colonists, or you need to be Catholic. And then there is faster growth in your colonies as well. And colonizing, it's fun, but it's not as fleshed out as hopefully it will be in EU4, which we'll have to check out as well. Now, state has stuff like spy defense, bigger taxes, more inflation. So if you at one point get the national bank idea, you can just start minting money and not really have an issue with it. And culture is mostly to do with stability cost as well as missionaries and stuff. Now we are going for military drill, making our armies a lot stronger than they already are, allowing them to stay in battle longer. Now we have finished level 4 government and we don't see the need to increase it again. So when we hover over the bars, we can see what the next few levels will give us. And I think what we will do is go for production, because the constable is a very strong building to have in many places. Okay, now we can continue with our war. He's actually upping the troops, and now you see that our cities, our armies have gone yellow because of the morale boost from military drill. They need to regain that again. So right now we have regained it here in Provence. What we are going to do is detach a siege and attack the army of Naples here before he lands even more troops, which is what he's doing right now. So we want to get his troops out of the way before it's too late. And in the worst case scenario, one of our buddies here can come help. They're already at war with us. We can call them to arms as well, our vassals. See, now we are in a battle here. You can hear the sounds of clashing steel. And their leader is stronger than mine, even though we have Shock 1, they have Fire 3. Yet, fire is not yet important. It's when you start fielding musketmen and such big units, shooting units, then fire will be a lot more important than shock. But right now, shock is where it's at, so we can go to Toulouse. Okay, so... Oh, his army was still divided. I'm not sure. Bourbonnais. Their army was helping me as well. So there are more armies going around. Let's try and finish this up. Apparently Louis de Bourbon is actually worse than my own leader was at that point. So basically at some point it just becomes a manhunt to just follow the yellow brick road, as it were, and keep hunting down the enemy troops. And that's actually as well going better in EU4, because there are quite a few of these things that make the game a little bit of a drag, because you have to keep following the enemy units. You can encircle them, and when they try to flee, they will automatically get destroyed when they reach an area where actually you have many troops. So let's see. Well, we're still sieging. We have finished the siege of Anjou, or well, not me, but rather my allies of the city-states. And we could do a couple of things. We could actually ask for access through the Italian lands, which would actually be a very interesting idea. So now we need Genoa as well. So for peace from Sardinia. No, okay, so Naples got another ally into the war, Sardinia, and they wanted to sue for peace, which is not going to happen. And Genoa, yes, you too. So we have, oh, Jean is the new heir of the throne. So we finally have an heir, and we can take a look at him. But I'm just gonna check now if we can almost... We need a couple more countries. Good news, Modena and the Papal States, yes. We can now walk through all of these Italian countries and start occupying Naples. But yeah, we now have a... Oh, we actually have something in Ile-de-France. Expand the bureaucracy. Less taxes, more magistrates. It's not as good as it sounds, really. So let's have a short look at our 793. This is, well, if you compare it to myself, we're 333 healer. Leader, not the healer. Wow, that was a strange slip of the tongue. But our son, our heir, has 793. He's not good at military matters, but his diplomatic skill are quite good. Okay, I keep getting... No, we're not going for white peace. We are definitely winning this war. Royal marriage. Sure, why not? Neighbors, we can do that. Yeah, so I'm really tempted to play Burgundy in EU4 because I kind of like the idea and it's very close to the Netherlands. I mean, this is where I'm from this area here. So, yeah, and I like the idea of being able to have a sort of alternate universe in which I play as what could have been country, basically. Oh, this is... they have rebel problems. And Sardinia keeps asking. They won't get it, so, well, now we see on the right here, it says it has that arrow to the right and the 100%. It means that the siege is very close to finishing, that means the 100%, but the first mark means that the walls have been breached, and we could, in theory, start storming the walls, and you do that by clicking the province, or in this case actually the army you have there, and you can click assault, and we will try to do that, but be warned, this might look painful. We win when their morale is down to 0, we lose if our morale is down to 0, but we do not lose completely, the siege still goes on. So when we start to assault, we see their numbers dropping, well, not as fast as the morale, but now our own morale is dropping as well. Thing is, when you have artillery and their fort strength is quite low, you can just get there, start sieging the first day it's possible and take it instantly. And now, no, everyone to go. Where's our bigger navy army? So now our troops need to recover their morale as well as their manpower. And there's a maximum amount of manpower each month available for your troops. And this just, our total pool will keep going until it's at the maximum. And when it's not, it's okay. So we're now at 29%. We can probably not yet take the whole of Provence, but what we are going to do is assault here as well, because I'm getting impatient and I simply want to end this war. And here we can see that the Papal State is there. Are they our allies? No, here are our allies and they are now going to land. But the Papal States are at war with Naples as well, but not actually because of me. Now we have a successful sieging of all provinces of the Provence, and now we can check with Naples, who is the leader, if we can sue for peace. We cannot do that with the Provence separately, which you normally could do because you can sue for peace with a lesser part of the war if you are the leader of the war, which we obviously are. The problem is they're in a personal union, so I can check, and if I go to the Provence, I cannot sue for peace because they are part of Naples in a union. So they basically have brother and sister, for instance, are ruling together. So I will have to sue for peace with Naples, and I will demand tribute, and let's see if I can... I cannot actually... No. I cannot actually take everything of theirs, but we can actually sue for these two. Okay, we could either take Provence or we can take Anjou and Maine. The difference is we get 10 prestige and accrue 0 infamy because they are both cores of France. If we were to take Provence, it costs we only get 5 prestige. Well, you get 5 for each province, but we get 4 infamy because the Provence is not a core of France at this point. So we will take these two, and we can also ask for them to revoke their cores so that Naples does not consider Janina as part of their nation anymore, and as well as these 3 over here, but we don't want to do that. And the only thing we would do is get some gold from them, but they wouldn't accept that. So we are making this deal to them. They will most likely accept it. And here it is. So we've lost the reconquest Casus Belli because it's not part of our country. But we have just gained 2 more provinces. And this is basically how the game works. You go back to Paris. Ile-de-France is basically where Paris is. Not every province has the name of the biggest city in the area. So Ile-de-France has the city of Paris, London has the city of London, and Oxfordshire has the city of Oxford. So it's things like that. And Gascogne, basically, it's Bordeaux. You might know Bordeaux, but not know that the region is actually named Gascogne. And that goes for a lot of areas, like Cuneo is actually, well, it's Cuneo, but Piedmont is Torino. And that counts for almost everything. Now, France is bigger again, but our mission is to annex Orléans, and this is Orléans. The only way to do this is to actually make them very happy with us. Ooh, they're still rejecting the royal marriage proposal. So we actually need to make them happier. But demand annexation? Yeah, well, we cannot look now because you need to wait a month to send another diplomat to a nation you've just spoken with. So demand annexation is now. Has been your vassal for at least 10 years, during which time you have not peacefully annexed some other vassal and with whom you have a relation of more than 190, or as an effect of certain peace resolutions. So what we need to do is send them a gift and get their relationship above 190 with us. And while we're not at war, we can actually take our maintenance down a little bit as well. Not drop it fully anymore, because you might not know what happens. If someone declares war, they can get the drop on you. And having a little bit of morale at the ready is not bad at all. Now we can build buildings, and the building already exists here, obviously. Okay, so for instance, in let's see, a city where it's actually more useful for me to do it. So Lyon already has one too. Here we go. We have border friction with Brittany, which basically means we get a casus belli because there was a struggle at the border between us and them, and we could conquer Armor or Morbihan for 50% of the infamy cost. We get full prestige and 50% cost. So that's basically, it's cheaper to ask for these in a deal. Now they are allied with Hungary and Aragon. So if we were to declare war, we see this, as well as -1 for good relations. And this means that our stability will drop from 3 down to 2 if we do this right now. So what we'll do instead is send an insult. And they won't like that, but it gives us a huge hit on the relationship, so we can actually go to war if we so please. Which I do want to try and do. Well, even though we are very close to Aragon, they usually get kicked the shit out of them by Castile, and Aragon started with these 2 provinces as well, so they are already getting their shit kicked out of them. But we are going to keep this guy over here, and you, actually, I want you in Anjou. Now we are above 190, but we would still need a couple of years, I believe, before we could annex the city. But we were talking about building a building. So, the only building I can build at this point would be a church, because you need the fourth level in research to unlock the first building. And a church would be basically the place, it will bring down the stability cost per month. Each city has a certain stability amount, and the greater the population or tax income basically goes up. So here you see it's plus 20 because we're Catholic, plus 5 because it's a landlocked province, minus 10 because of a slider, plus 10 because of a different slider, minus 1.4 because of our prestige, and minus 10 because of our legitimacy. If we build a church, it goes down by a flat 4 as well. So it will go down to 18.12. And it's simply as you need a magistrate to build a church and 48.5 ducats. We actually have somewhere we may have it cheaper. Here it is. The infamous comet sighted. Peasants are always superstitious, and the appearance of a comet in the sky has caused panic among our people. They are convinced that this is a sign that the end of times is near, or that something bad is going to happen in the near future. So it's an omen, we lose 1 stability. The end is nigh, we lose 1 stability. We ignore the peasant rebel, we lose 1 stability. Or we tell them to stop looking at the sky, and we still lose 1 stability. So I tell them to stop looking at the fucking sky, even though there's no use to it. So put our slider back completely in stability because we need it, and we will crank up our war maintenance again, so we can actually go to war very soon. We need about 2 months to get morale to full, and that little bit of difference of putting some money into it has given us this much morale on the scale of the full size we can have, which is pretty damn powerful in itself. We're still making money despite having our military at full readiness. So what we need is to kick the shit out of them, out of Brittany, so now we can go to war. And at the same time, well, we need to wait until January of 1409 to actually try and annex that place. So we declare war, border friction. We will call all our allies, and we do this. Now, we are with very good relations. We'll try this as well. And if the only problem that we might have is if these nations will overtake Brittany as the war leader. And here we are. Hungary, as announced. Aragon dishonored their alliance. That's okay. That's actually good. Oh, England is now at war as well with them. And but the big problem is this. Hungary is now the war leader. Hungary is allied with a few more states. None close though, so that's actually pretty okay. So we will send this guy up here as well, so we can start sieging everything instantly. So we're now at war with Transylvania as well. Hopefully we can abuse the English army for our nefarious deeds. Accepted peace from Brittany. Oh, okay, apparently they were at war. So you're here, detach a siege and go to the next place. 21st of April, 25th of April. Okay, so we have an event. One of our advisors, Jean-Baptiste Derieux, has published the crowning achievement of his literary career, The Spirit of Laws. This monumental work has been celebrated for 3 of its numerous theories: the classification of governments, the influences on politics, and the most important one, the theory of the separation of powers. So we could either say that his efforts will be admired throughout the nation, which gives us 2 stability, and for 6 years plus 15 government tech investment, or we gain 10 prestige and get 6 years of plus 15 government tech investment. So government tech will go through the roof, plus 15, plus 18. Holy crap, we get a lot. But then again, tech level 5 is not supposed to be actually available until 1410, so it has a large penalty to the amount you need to research. So this 4,667 actually, that amount will go down with each year passes until we are at the actual point where it should be available for research. So, but any point you spend will stay at that point, so if the total cost goes down, you will still research it as at that point. Now, stability. It would take us 7 months of stability, or we can get 10 prestige. So we will just steal the stability. We're back at +3, so that's good. Now let's see how this war will continue. And we will actually attack them here. That's good. So you know what? I want this army to stay around back here. So Alençon is now sieging this part as well, which is good. And I would hope that... there they go. You guys split off a siege and follow them. They do not have their leader, so they get a standard deficit bonus. But when we zoom out a little bit, you can see diplomatically we are at war with Brittany, with Hungary and Transylvania, but that's about it. So we've won the battle, we've destroyed them all because they had no other place to run and their morale was at 0. So now it's just simply wait until every piece of the puzzle here is sieged. We actually get an alliance offer from Aragon, and we missed it because for some reason it didn't let me click it. Oh, here we have a good point. Now we can steal Nevers, because as an alliance... Damn it, I wanted to give you the alliance offer. I wanted to take it. That's the disadvantage of playing at the highest speed, obviously. Where did this army actually go? Oh, wow. Avignon actually took over the Provence. So where did... Ah, it just went to the west. So who is sieging here? That would be... Would it be one of my... Yes, it would be bien one of my vassals. So we are safe to just pursue this army into Berry and kick the shit out of them. Hello, where are they? Okay, they're now going to Périgord, so we'll just follow them. And there we go. Okay, we have a peace offer from Nevers. White peace, not gonna happen. I'm gonna take you over. And Hungary will go for white peace, so... We first want to completely take Brittany, of course. I mean, we're allowed to go up to 33 infamy. We're not a part of the infamous Holy Roman Empire, where it would actually cost a lot to have many infamy, because it will be basically it would be detrimental to your relationship. Then again, we're just gonna take everything they own right now, because we can. Here we go, and another peace offer, white peace. Well, we're at 6%, but I don't see them turning up. Oh, hello. There's actually suddenly Hungarians here, but they're being killed. There we go. They could not flee anywhere. Oh, well, they could. Peace offer Brittany. Cede armor, renounce their claims on Maine and Anjou, which actually would be very good, and pay 147 ducats. I'm gonna milk this, so I'm gonna decline it now and see what I can get from them once we have got everything. Now, we've got Nevers completely, so we will annex them for a lot more. So, well, we can only annex them. So, that's what we'll do. Make this a part of France proper. Yes. Here's another peace offer. Same offer as before, just more money. And I wanted to try and see what I can get for annexing you instead. Or maybe get more stuff. At least I wanted 2 areas from them, as well as the renunciation of the course. Okay, we have got Morbihan, peace offer Pomerania, not gonna happen. Brittany, not gonna happen. So just, seriously, just assault it then. Okay, now we can actually... So, Pomerania wants to get rid of stuff from me, which is not going to happen. Annexing would give us 16 infamy in total, but just taking these two provinces would only be 4 infamy and will take a lot of money. We have a 100% war score because, well, we beat them completely. Every part of their nation is taken. So, vassalation, we cannot take his land and vassalize him, which is a shame really, because it would be powerful, but we will actually take everything we can besides... Oh, actually, we'll take this as well. They will have only one more province left. So here we go, we'll send this, and at the same turn we will send a white peace deal to Hungary, and they would not accept it. Okay, oh well. So, rejected peace, accepted our generous offer, and they combine here. So, we have taken some land, quite a few actually. France is bigger. Yeah, so we're now at war with... Wow. Huh! Ha ha! England is actually... Did England just... Oh, there are some rebels. Scum. Huh. That was unfortunate that we did not notice this. So we are at 0%. Sue for peace. White peace. Okay, they would not. So if we concede defeat, they would also not accept it. Well, let's see. Well, at least the English are fighting our war over here, which is quite amusing to me. So let's see what happens in the next episode. We are expanding France, and it's, well, getting Brittany so early because of such a good deal is quite amazing. And we're only at 15.7 infamy, which will go down slowly. But yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to check out my EU4 coverage as soon as it releases. I will try and get most likely Burgundy action in, but if you have a better suggestion, I will gladly take it, as long as it's not France and it's basically Europe, because Europe is the most interesting to actually play in my opinion. There are cool stuff you can do in the Far East or in India, where there are a lot of nations as well, but tech wise it's just the most broad game you can play in Europe with all the colonization as well. With that, on that note, I will see you later.